Me, a bro.
Yep.
He, a dude.
That's good stuff. All right. Let's try it. Okay. Welcome to the We Will Journey podcast. We're talking about faith and life as it happens, and not the glossy exterior we wish it was. What, man? What did I do wrong?
I think you said it's because all the things I was thinking about before. But we can edit that. You got that part good.
Oh.
You got it good. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay, just...
Now it's your turn.
Good?
Yeah.
Wait. We're going to get under the surface. I should have said all those things before. We should have waited down and dirty until after we read this part.
Okay.
Okay. Wait. We get under the surface and explore the down and dirty. Okay. Maybe we should. It doesn't have to be word for word, right?
No. I mean, I gave an interpretation.
Okay. All right. We get under the surface and explore the down and dirty of life as it pertains to our beliefs, our relationships, politics, and absolutely everything else.
Oh, there we go. That was good. All right.
Three, two, one.
Are you there? Check, baby, check.
Check.
This is all for fun. We've been talking. It doesn't even. I tried to make it sound like this just in. Tyler and Seth are now talking, but it's not true. We've been talking. We've actually been talking about Seth's ponytail. So anyways, we can.
No ponytail.
He took the ponytail out. Yeah, he took the ponytail out. But he was showing off his ponytail to me, and then he let his hair back down, and we were evaluating. So go ahead, Seth. Continue with your thought process there. You were saying that it used to be back in the day, like Revolutionary War heroes wore a ponytail. Pirates maybe wore a ponytail. But things have changed, right? Not a lot of Revolutionary War heroes or pirates wearing ponytails.
No, where have they all gone? That's what we're asking ourselves.
What happened?
What
happened to all these people that we used to look up to?
As Bob Dylan once said, the times are changing.
They are a changing.
I think he said that. Hey, Jenny, he have a ponytail actually as well at some point. Not like he's
Bob
known
Dylan?
for. Not that he's known for a ponytail, but I thought.
I think you're thinking of Willie Nelson.
No, I'm not thinking of
Willie Nelson has always had a ponytail.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about Willie Nelson though.
I mean, Willie Nelson, he does the thing off the two sides that come on down like the either side of his neck, right? What do they call that?
Yeah. Really... Those are pigtails, man.
It's not really pigtails, because don't pigtails normally kind of stick straight out?
No, that's I don't know. That's what I would call pigtails.
Okay.
But what I don't know what else you would call them.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question.
But Willie, his are always like braided really nicely.
Yeah, his hair is long.
He's always
so
he's always braided up, and you should do that. Like, that would be cool, Seth. If you came back next time I see you with like two cool pigtail braids, that came down either side of your neck, I'd be pretty stoked about that. Well, me, really, Seth, me with anything right now, my hair is fast tracking itself to the drain of my shower. So, there isn't like a lot of hope for me doing anything spectacular with my hair in the future.
Well, but your beard game is strong right now, and I feel like you could definitely do the ponytail, the braided beard.
You think do a braided beard? Yeah. Yeah. Well, the beard is a whole nother challenge. As you're well aware of, you have wiry beard hair that kind of gets all like tight and curly, doesn't it?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, mine likes to kind of like do a flip, does like a little flip out. As it gets long, it starts to, and especially during this mask era, man, if I throw a mask on when my beard is long, it just does like this huge curl out, and it looks ridiculous. So
if you did the braided beard, it would just like point out straight like a stingray.
I don't know. I don't know.
That is that. Actually, there's that dude from Cobra Kai. His name is Stingray. And he has a bearded braid.
Wow.
A braided beard.
That's got to be intimidating.
I didn't even think about that.
Coming up against a guy like that.
You could do that though. I think you have the beard. I don't know. There's just a lot of options out there. I don't think you should cut yourself short, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Just
okay. Well, I appreciate that. So, I mean, I'm at the point with the top of my head where I just shave it these days. If it was up to me, I'd just be gone.
See, I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. It's just kind of, the light shines through. Yeah.
Right, but it doesn't it doesn't look bad, at least in my opinion. It's a lighter color too, which maybe helps, but I don't know.
Right. Yeah, no, it's not terrible yet. I've definitely seen worse.
Okay. Let's not name any names.
But there is somebody within the context of our family who is basically half bald from like here, and then still kind of does what I do, maybe even longer on the other half.
Okay.
But it's like a middle thing. And so it's definitely a weird balding thing going on. But God bless that person, whoever they are, and we still love them dearly. Yeah.
I mean, I love them and I don't even know them.
I know. Just that explanation, they have to be lovable, in order to rock that do.
I just hope that you or I, once we come to the point that let's make a pact that we both do the comb over.
You want to do so my grandma's brother, okay, had a comb over like that. I've never seen anything like it. He was basically bald on top, right?
Yeah.
There was nothing here. I don't even know at what point the sides engaged, but he had hair in the back. So the back of his hair, I don't know how long it had to be, but it went all the way from the back of his like head neck area. And then he like pasted it to his head, all coming forward. And then his wife would cut what resembled a hairline for this hair that was basically glued down to the top of his head, coming over from the back.
I mean, that's cheaper than implants, or more or less work.
Welcome to the We Will Journey podcast, by the way. Seth and I have been absent from recording for a while. We're on today to talk about Lent.
Tyler's giving up his hair for Lent.
Yes.
Too soon. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're the one that said that. I don't think you should give up your hair.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. You and my wife feel the same way. Matter of fact, I think last time I had my head shaved, you told me you liked it better when I had hair. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, some people, I don't know, it's been a while, so I'd have to recollect, but...
Yeah, I haven't had my head shaved for a long time.
So yeah, that's important.
Maybe I shaved it last year. I can't remember. I don't know. I don't know what I did. I do want to get, and we don't have like a lot of time this morning because you and I both have things to do. But I
Yes.
did want to talk about your trip to. Did you go into Ukraine?
I did.
Did you actually
yes.
go in? Yeah. Okay. So your trip to Ukraine, you had a neat opportunity. I think just to serve, and I definitely wanted to get to that this morning, and also acknowledge that we're still kind of in Lent. I have not done a good job recording lately, but I have continued with what I'm doing, for the most part. So traveling makes it really difficult. So I've had to make some accommodations for the travel part of it. How has your Lent journey been going, Seth?
To be honest, it started off really well, and then when I was gone for that 4-day chunk, I have not got back into the rhythm of it. And we were like really busy at first and stuff and whatever, but then I just didn't get back into the rhythm. And I'm still, I mean, I did a couple days, but it's not been consistent. It's not been their priority like I wanted it to be at the start. So I have hope. I guess I should say I am hopeful that that'll change and can kind of maybe kick it back up for next week and then roll into the next 2 weeks and finish strong.
So you're no longer reading the Bible.
I sold.
Is that what you're saying?
Sold all of my Bibles.
You got rid of your Bibles, and you're no longer reading them. So that's good.
No,
that's good.
I did not. So I have the Bible that I have with me. Most I've had for so long. I don't think I could ever sell it. I don't know. It's like a special part of my life. No, I have not. Right. Yeah, unfortunately, I have not done the 30-minute thing since 30-minute time in the Bible. Yeah.
Okay. I'm really, really disappointed in you, Seth.
I know. What did you have to eat yesterday, Tyler? Is everything? Was it all kosher?
Well, yeah, I had. You want to know what I ate?
I just want to know if you failed.
Oh, thank you. Don't care what I. Hey, you just want to know if I.
Well, I mean,
do you want me to tell you about a time that I did fail?
Be disappointed.
And that would.
Oh,
that would maybe make you feel better if I told you about a time when I failed, which was. Now, in some ways, I didn't fail at all.
Oh my gosh!
Because the food was all free. I didn't have to pay for it. I went to a conference. The other day, or I just got back. Day before yesterday.
I became a homeless man, so I didn't have to do this Lent challenge.
No. I went to a conference, and it was all paid for. So I could eat anything
you didn't even have to
that
pay
I wanted to.
What kind of conference did you not even have to pay for? That's crazy.
Well, it's an association, so I'm part of the association. So I didn't even have to pay for lodging.
The NRA.
But with that said, there was a lot of food that I did not eat. But the night that we went to this brewery, they had like artichoke dip and nacho chips, which is not something that I would eat on my Lent thing. But I engaged with that artichoke dip heavily. Mm-hmm. It was really good. And so on one hand, I did not have to pay for the artichoke dip or the nacho chips. And on the other hand, when I've been traveling, I've been trying to eat similar like foods, even if it goes above my $2 budget. But yeah, I didn't hold back. I didn't hold back on that stuff. That was good.
Well, I'm very very disappointed in you.
Thank you. Are you digging our theme music? Well, we dig it too. You can check out more Jane Gilman music at our website, janegilman.com. Or you can download some of her music to your playlist on iTunes. That's GILLMAN.
Okay, now that we have the mutual feeling, let's move on.
Yeah, we can continue to be friends.
Yeah. We both...
It's not over.
It won't be the last time I disappoint you.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about your Ukraine trip, because I think that was, an exciting thing for you to get to be a part of, and it also probably made you feel a whole host of emotions. And Alyssa, I know she felt a lot of anxiety about it too, and in the whole scheme of things, it's not a huge deal, right? It's not like you went over and fought in the war or anything, but you still had an opportunity to engage and help, and you did, and I think that's awesome. And so just share, a little bit about your trip.
Well, it was interesting.
Or maybe about the opportunity. Maybe talk about the opportunity on the front end first.
Yes, it was interesting because you and I had been talking about the situation going on in the Ukraine and kind of the desire to help in a practical way.
Yeah.
And it often can feel, it can feel, it's just a situation where you often feel helpless or whatever, or feel unsure of what and how you can be a part of something in where you're actually lending something that's tangibly helpful. And I kept thinking kind of about that, but I wasn't like pursuing anything. And then a friend of ours here in Innsbruck, who is often involved in social work and is also someone who does a good job of kind of rallying people together for a cause and doing something like that. And he is in a wheelchair, so has that disability, and kind of because of that, then he thinks a lot of on those type of people. And in Ukraine, just like there is everywhere, there's a lot of people that had disabilities, and a lot of people who were trying to get out and flee from the war that had mental and physical handicaps and disabilities and stuff. And so he got connected with an organization that was helping evacuate people out of there with disabilities, because that's very hard, much harder obviously for them to get out than it would be for other people. So he contacted me that Friday morning 2 weeks ago, and wrote up some other people and asked if anybody would have time and would be available to go to the Ukraine and pick up some families or individuals' families that had disabilities, and bring them back to Austria. And so that was kind of how that started. And I talked to my wife about it and discussed that and prayed and talked to some other people we needed to, and tried to figure out some logistics and get a number of things covered that I was responsible for that weekend. And about 3 hours later, I left. He came and picked me up, and we left and headed to Vienna. So that was kind of
wow. Yeah. And as I understand it too, like vans were donated to go and pick people up.
Yeah, so his sister, excuse me, his sister works in Vienna like a center for handicapped people, and people with challenges. And that center had a number of vans because they used them for transport, within the city. And he I guess contacted her or whoever within the organization, and they said, yeah, that sounds amazing. Take these vans, just bring them back when you're done. So we got 5 full size, or I don't know what you'd say, but 9-seater vans. Some of them even were even set up to be able to
wheelchair accessible,
and plenty of space and width and stuff. So it was a really big blessing. And then he drove his car, which is just a small little sedan. So we had 6 vehicles in total.
Wow. So are they still doing this like now, or was this just a one-time thing?
So as far as people that I'm in contact,
is that group still doing this?
Right. So
or was that just kind of like a one-time?
So the people that I'm in contact with, and we're part of a WhatsApp group, a chat group or whatever. I don't think anybody in that group has been going back and doing that specific thing. I know some of them are involved on this side, organizing and helping families get situated. And the one girl that I've been in contact with since then, she's kind of helping some of the families get situated, and people have been bringing them some stuff. And I don't know. Like, it was a bunch of people, and it was just kind of a random group of individuals that all had time and motivation to be a part of it. And so it's not like one core group that does things together. Most people didn't know each other. And so I don't have regular contact with anybody except for the guy that I knew from Innsbruck. And he's still been kind of doing a lot from Innsbruck as far as like just contacting, writing, getting the need out there, not only for things like what we did, but also for now in our city in Innsbruck, the needs that are continuing to rise, or whatever you want to say. There's more and more refugees that are coming in, and that's creating a lot of needs for supplies and clothes and manpower and that kind of thing. And so he's been doing a lot of like just organizing and promoting stuff, but I don't think this group has gone back since.
Okay. Yeah. So when you were in Ukraine, making observations about the situation from, that location anyways, what were your observations? What were your thoughts? What kind of went through your mind?
Well, the majority of our time spent was at the border. That was the longest chunk of time. It took a while to get in and then get back out. We went in through Slovakia and came out through Hungary on the border. And yeah, there's just a lot of checking, identification, and kind of asking us questions. And then they searched our vehicle a few times and looked over things. And then it's just the one thing that kind of struck me at the border, because that was the first experience, obviously, was just how much like logistics and like things that were trying to be figured out kind of on the fly, with people coming in and people going out at the same time. You saw families, especially women with children, coming through in like a line on the one side, and then where we were driving through the border, it was just for vehicles. And then you had people going out in vehicles, and then people like us going in. And so then you had all these different moving parts, and like the different military personnel and police officers and stuff kind of communicating. And there's a few times where things didn't go super smoothly, just because I think it's like so much logistics and so much like that they're trying to figure out, and they're trying to keep track of, these people are coming in, these people are going out, these people are coming in, but what exactly are they doing? We need to make sure this is legit. and that they're like people like us are actually providing a good service and have a loving mission in mind. And so like for example, the one time we got through the first like station or whatever of security checkups and whatnot, and they were supposed to give us our stamp in our passports, like you'd get at the airport and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we just thought they did, and they send us forward. And so we went to the next checkup, where there's military guys and they're double checking everything. And then we opened up our stuff and noticed that they didn't give us a stamp, even though they told us we were supposed to. And so we weren't sure, like, okay, how do we get back? Because if you went, it's like we came through one way and then you go out the other way, but we can't go out the other way. So we just sort of backed up, and I walked down there and everybody's staring at me like, what is this guy doing? Just walking around by himself, like, where did you come from? And I couldn't communicate really with them, and I was just like, we forgot something. We need a stamp, and so they didn't really know what to do, and I just gave them my papers, and then people asked me different questions, and then eventually they figured out what I needed. But it was just kind of an eerie feeling, like just walking back there in a situation where I didn't know what was going on. And they didn't know what was going on.
Right.
I just knew I did not have the information or the clearance I needed to get through, and But that was at the border, and then once we went in, it was basically as quick as possible. We just drove to the place where we were going to pick up these people. They literally, like, we opened the door. We got there. It was like a center for some kind of like senior center, or a place where they were taking care of people, letting them sleep for the night. And like as soon as we drove into the driveway, we opened the doors and people just started coming in and like getting into our vehicle. And the lady that was in charge was like, hey guys, just take a break, telling us, come on in for coffee real quick if you need to use the bathroom or whatever. She's like, they're really excited to get going and really anxious to leave. So that was very, very interesting, and you definitely felt the tangible, like, this isn't just like a stroll in the park, or these people aren't just like, oh, somebody's here, hey, how's it going? Let's get to know each other. They're like, no, let's get out of here. You're here to get us, and we're ready to go. We've been waiting.
Yeah.
And then they let us. This lady who organized the whole thing, who's Ukrainian, along with another man who was working at that center, they led us back to the border to a different exit, would be faster, and they just stepped on the gas, and we were driving as fast as possible, kind of keep up with them. And there's like big potholes, and they're driving, around, both lanes, avoiding things, and we're in this big truck where there's no cushion when you hit those bumps. I was sitting in the way back with a couple of the teenagers. Every time you hit one of those bumps or potholes, man, you felt it in your bones. And then once we got to the border, things slowed down, obviously, and then we waited, and it took a while, but we got through.
Wow. And you did, I know you told me that you developed a little bit of a connection with the family that you spent about a day with. And so that was cool in that sense, but also difficult when you had to tell them goodbye, and then your part of this little mission was over. It's like, and you felt kind of like you wanted to keep helping. But that part that didn't exist any longer for you.
Yeah, and that's still kind of what I'm figuring out. So it was definitely difficult to leave that family, and there's definitely a connection that was built within like the 16 hour, or I don't know, 13 hours, 16 hours, however long I was with them. Because it was like an entire moment experience giant experience in their life and in my life, and it's all kind of condensed into one day. But it almost felt like we had experienced so much more together, just because it was all like, for them, they're experiencing in a day, you know, what a lot of people experience over years, you know, like this, leaving their family, leaving family and friends, leaving their home country. You know, some of us do that at some point in our lives, but then entering like a new country where there's a new language for the first time ever, going through all these security checks, being interrogated, being some of the time treated poorly by military personnel at different borders. And then they're in a new country they've never seen before. They're like driving through places like Budapest that they've only seen in photos or on TV, you know, and it's like incredible experience. And then coming to the next border as a new country, new language, and there's this idea of, oh, this is where we're going to be living now for the next unknown, unforeseeable future. What do you say? Foreseeable future? Unforeseeable? That's not even, maybe that's not even a word.
No, not unforeseeable. Foreseeable. Yeah. I know you said, I think the daughter told you something about Budapest, like it was her mother's dream or something to see Budapest.
So I talked mostly to the daughter and the son. The daughter could speak English the best, and the dad could a little bit, and then the son could a little bit. She told me her mom, who was mentally challenged. I'm not sure exactly what she had, but it was hard, you know, for her to communicate and stuff. But her mom, I guess, had this kind of dream of wanting to go to Budapest and go over this bridge. Like in Budapest, there's these really amazing bridges, and the I think it's the Donau. Oh man, I should look that up. That big river that goes through Budapest, which is just incredibly beautiful with all the buildings surrounding it. And we went over that bridge, like that she had kind of, I guess, always had the dream of going over. And so that was really cool. And it was just kind of sort of by happenstance that we went through the city, because there was kind of a discussion, we'll drive around the city because it's probably faster. But we ended up going through kind of the heart of the city, and so then they're just like, you know, bending their heads, looking out the window, and just in awe of this city and these big incredible buildings and structures, and then going over this bridge and seeing the river and seeing just Budapest. That was kind of a cool silver lining sort of moment, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. They talk about like couples that come together like during traumatic situations. I think do they call that trauma bond or something?
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, you kind of experienced that with this family a little bit. You guys kind of came together in this traumatic situation and formed a close bond quickly, and it's just incredible to think about that situation. You kind of go into, I would imagine, you just kind of go into, I want to say autopilot, but you go into like survival mode. You know, you're not
right.
You're not thinking about, oh, I'm leaving my house. You know, I mean, it's just totally different. There's no other situation that's like that, where the things that used to have value, now you really could care less about. Now you're just trying to survive. It's just wild, isn't it, to think about that?
Yeah, and it's everything, you know. I think I shared that with you, but one of the things that it's hard, like I got a glimpse, obviously, is, you know, what it was like for them, but it's still the glimpse from a what do you call it, like third person angle. You know, it's like I wasn't going through it myself. I was just kind of helping them through that process. But me, as being someone who speaks English and German, I could generally communicate in most situations along the journey. Being someone who's lived in Austria for a lot of years, I feel pretty comfortable with the culture and just the situation going through. And the guy who came with me is a driver. He's Austrian, and so obviously he had no issues with language and the culture when we're going to Austria and going through which is kind of one of the bigger processes of them kind of registering, and at the border, going into like this container, kind of get off the highway, go through security, and then like drive off in this back area with just a bunch of like makeshift containers that they probably built recently. I don't know. And it's like a bunch of offices, and then they have everything set up there for these people to do their fingerprints and register and get all signed up and all that stuff. And like for us, me and the driver, it's just kind of like, okay, we've kind of done similar like stuff like this in Austria, and we can speak the language, and these people are friendly, and we're talking, and we're sort of just pretty chill. But like what that must be for them, that's crazy, like they're in a situation where they're like literally a lot of it relying on us to like, they've known us for 12, like I said, like 10 or 12 hours, and they're kind of trusting us with their lives from point A. It's like we're here surrounded by people with machine guns and stuff, and like they're taken into these little small rooms and like are starting to fill out all these things, and like that would just be a crazy situation, and we're here and we're basically strangers, and it's just such a crazy thought to like what they're going through and that whole process. And of course they have adrenaline, and they have things going on that probably helps bring them through this whole situation. But it just really hit me like that compared to what we are going through. It's just so much newness, so much fear, so much trust, so many different kind of emotions happening, and it was kind of a privilege to be a part of that and kind of help them through that, because I would need and want somebody to help my family through that.
Right. Yeah. Well, you can see, I think I've been not in a situation like that, but in a situation where I didn't know what was happening. Like I didn't know what was going on, so I just had to trust somebody that I didn't know. But I can identify with that feeling of, oh, thank goodness, right? Like somebody's here that I can just follow, I can just follow, and this person's going to take care of me. And, which, the flip side of that, you can see how people in that situation get taken advantage of all the time.
Yeah.
Right. Because they're looking for somebody that they can trust. So, the people that have bad intentions take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Just, thank God that, lots and lots and lots of people like you are saying, what, we're going to help. And I think you and I were maybe talking about it the other day, but, we're definitely seeing like the worst of humanity.
Yeah.
Right now play out, but we're also seeing like some of the best, right, aspects of humanity too. So we're experiencing both extremes right now, kind of watching this all unfold, and it's pretty, it's pretty wild to see that. And so anyways.
Yeah, man. And I imagine that's probably something that takes place in war all the time. I've never been as close as I was in this situation, but just the idea of it's basically as traumatic of experience as could possibly be happening. to these people, getting everything they've ever known kind of just ripped from them. Some of the people, losing their family members, losing their friends in the war, and then being put into a completely different environment, different situation. They experience within those like 24 hours, they experience kind of some of the worst and best
right
parts of humanity. And just see, it was just so cool to see a lot of these people that kind of volunteered to do this and to help out. It was like just different guys, from different men and women from different backgrounds. Some had families, some were just young college students, some were, had good jobs, some retired, some way like into social work, doing a lot of things like that. Some of them just kind of like found out about this experience and boom, jumped in to help. It's just like those kind of things. I mean, unfortunately, in a way, that kind of stuff doesn't happen more often. It takes often crises
right
for people to jump into action, but at the same time, like you said, you get to see those moments of like, people working together in humanity, shining in the midst of darkness.
Well, I think it's interesting to see humanity in a crisis versus humanity when everything is good. We see it play out in our own lives, kind of all the things we start to take for granted when things are really good. And then in a crisis situation, the little things gain so much more value. But to see that kind of unfold across, a large sect of the population, and to see the global community kind of come together for a cause, is really, really good. It's unfortunate that for whatever reason as humans, we can't keep that going when things are going well. Because, when things are going well, we create conflict and division and, all this stuff. But when an actual crisis, when an actual crisis happens and not these made up things that take place, on a regular basis, it is amazing to see people come together, people become united that a lot of times were not united prior to that event. So, anyways, it's really cool to watch that aspect of this event unfold, and but obviously super unfortunate that that's what had to take place in order to have that happen. So, but Seth, we are kind of getting to that point where you and I think need to run, but any closing thoughts on your hair or anything else?
Oh gosh. It's to be continued with the hair, man.
Yeah.
No, also the situation, I think we just need wisdom as a family, me individually, is how we can continue to help. Alyssa's already done so much exploring with options and ways that we can, as a family and also as like a ministry team here in Innsbruck and different individuals help out with now many refugees and orphans and stuff that are coming now to Innsbruck where we are. And so she's been looking into that a lot and knows a lot of the needs, and we might be starting a German class because that's kind of the most immediate need, as well as like clothes and supplies and stuff. But I'm also just trying to figure out with this specific family that I got to know. I might go up or go over to Vienna at some point in the next few weeks and visit them and see if I can be of help. It sounded like that place where we brought them all to, which is like a retirement senior living center place. They are kind of also overwhelmed with the whole situation. And just so many people there, and some of them are finding homes and finding permanent places to stay, but not everybody. So those are, I guess, the things kind of thinking about going forward.
Yeah. Okay. Well, brother, it's good talking this morning, and I'm glad that I got to see the ponytail.
That was the.
Is that going back in? Is Alyssa going to put the ponytail back in after this?
I don't know, man. I like I said, my youngest, he kind of dissed me already. Sound like you were kind of on the fence about it. I'm also kind of on the fence about it, so I don't really know. It might be just the backwards
a one podcast recording type deal.
Huskers baseball cap today.
All right, man. I love you. We'll catch you later.
Yeah, I love you too, man.
Good talking. All right.
Traveling through this wearisome land, I got a home in that yonder city, oh Lord, and it's not made by hand. I've got a mother, a sister, and a brother who have gone to that sweet home. Well, I'm determined to go and see them, a good Lord, over on that distant shore. As I go down to that river of Jordan, just to bathe my weary soul. If I could just touch the hem of his garment, good Lord, I believe it would make me whole. When I'm dead, laying in my coffin, all my friends all gather round. They can say I'm just sleeping, good Lord, the sweet peace I have found